What's up, everybody? Tyson Roush, Let's Talk Jets Radio. If you want to follow me on Twitter, it's TRAUCH21. We broadcast live every Tuesday night at 8 o'clock. I hope everybody is staying safe, social distancing. Crazy times right now, but I hope we can all just get through it, stay positive, inspire each other, and hopefully we'll be back to normalcy very soon. This video is about the draft. You know, the draft's a week away, and there's a week and a half away. And we're talking about so many different things, and, some things we got to keep in mind as well. Like, free agency has come and gone. The Jets didn't really make any splashes. They got a lot of, value signings and kind of trying to maximize every dollar they have. It's a lot of focus on the cap space. But if you look at the cap space, the Jets could have more if they cut a Williamson, a Winters, a Hairston, all these guys. But the big unknown is the physicals. And Jets in many aspects don't know what they have. They don't know what they have with Quincy, Avery, Brian Winters, all these guys, because they got past their physical. Even C.J. Mosley. There's a lot of unknowns here. So they can't go cutting guys until they can make sure they got to see what they have first. Even the free agents they signed, they got to complete all those deals. They announced them, but there's still some things got to work out. So I wouldn't be surprised to see moves made after the draft when teams can get more back to normal. And then you look at the draft, there's also some uncertainty there where, if a guy does have a medical concern, will the Jets draft them? Character concerns. If you look at everything Joe Douglas has said, it's all about team first, work ethic, leadership, high character. If you go that route, that could take some guys off your board as well. So it'd be interesting to see this as his first draft. Like, I never understand how everybody knows what Joe Douglas is going to do because this is his first draft with us. And I really don't care what he did with the Ravens or the Eagles, or whatever else. This is your war room by yourself making your decisions. So we're going to learn a lot about him in this draft. And then when you go into the draft, you look at what is the Jets' approach. And everything is, at this point, we've talked about players and got to have, and the needs, and the team needs are obvious. Offensive line, you need a left tackle, you need a corner, you need two receivers, you probably can use some running backs, there's a lot of edge rusher. So you look at that, it's okay. If you just say you go wide receiver in the first round, then you have to say it's not the Jets are screwed or all these other things. There's a really interesting stat that I saw, and it just blew my mind, where last year, 55%, over half of the first and second team all-pro offensive linemen were drafted after the first round. That's almost 60%. After the first round, they were drafted. So what that does is, and you look at wide receivers, and a lot of guys we've talked about, like I'm a big Cortland Sutton fan from Denver, second-round pick. Stephon Diggs, fifth round. Tyreek Hill, fifth round. Chris Godwin, I think, was third round. Michael Thomas, second round. There's always examples. It's all about getting value in the later rounds, and we've talked about it. And this is where Mike Maccagnan screwed us loyally. John Idzik blew it, where your depth and your quality has to come after the first round. Yes, you want that stud in the first round. Now, if Joe Douglas says, you know what, I have to get the best receiver, say it's CeeDee Lamb at 11, cool, no problem. Then you got to find that value in the second round and third round, where it's, get that offensive lineman. Find these guys that we're not talking about. Like, I'm not a draft expert, so I'm not going to sit here and tell you my top 10 wide receivers or my top 10 tackles. I have no idea. That's his job. I'm not an expert, and I'm not going to sit here and tell you I am. But this is where this draft is so important. And people are talking about, well, take your receiver at 11 and then trade up in the second round to get a guy that you want as an offensive lineman, like a Josh Jones. Sounds great in theory, but this team has so many holes. You gotta measure the risk versus reward. If you only have 6 or 7 picks, you start giving them away to move up. Then you're not addressing all the holes you're not addressing the holes that you didn't address in free agency. So there's a fine line here. Like, you can make a very good case that if Joe Douglas doesn't have his guy there at 11, he should trade back and get more picks because this team has a lot of holes. Now, there's been a lot of talks about, what about Jamal Adams? What about this? Listen, I can see both cases with trading Jamal Adams. I don't think it's going to happen. This team knows. I'm not going to say I think it's not going to happen. So I'm not going to go down that path. My whole goal of this video is to say, listen, keep a broad perspective on this draft. The first round is not going to make or break Joe Douglas. What's going to make or break him is the later rounds. Second round, third round. How can he do it? The one thing Mike Maccagnan did, which pissed me off, was in the later rounds, he would get cute and keep trading back and trading back and trading back and got no value out of it. And players that we could have used over and over and over, he didn't take. So, stop being cute, have a pragmatic approach, have a blueprint of what you want and when you want, and get the guys. Like, to me, Joe Douglas is in a position where he had an entire year to prepare for this draft. He was hired after the draft, so this entire year, he had the ability to work with all the scouts, closely to figure out, this is my scoring mechanism, this is what I'm looking for, these are the character guys I want, this is the way I want you to evaluate film. He had the benefit of an entire offseason to do this. An entire year, So I don't have that much. I'm taking away a lot of wiggle room for him. Like, there's no excuses for him because, usually you get hired, say, in January, February, you draft in April. This isn't the case for him. He was hired last year. He had an entire year to prepare for this with his front office and all his teams, watching all the tape together, evaluating it together. So, to me, I expect more. Not only because of his resume and the front office has established, it's all the time they've had to do this, to go through this. Now, the physicals are concerned and the in-person visits and everything. I completely understand that, but that's why you have FaceTime and Zoom and text messaging and everything else. So, interesting to see how this all plays out. We'll be covering it. Obviously, we broadcast live on Tuesdays. We'll add shows right after the draft, probably do a Sunday show and a Tuesday show, all kinds of shows. But just keep in mind, and one other thing. Can we be a fan base that once the pick is made, that 50% of the fan base doesn't make the complete mockery of it and embarrass ourselves? Like, ESPN just feeds off it. They wait for the Jets pick to be, selected, and you have all the, oh my God, this team, same old Jets, we blow. Unless, of course, they take a defensive tackle in the first round, and then the show's canceled because I'll break my TV. So, but let's try to stay positive. Let's try to have faith in this team. This is a big draft. We have a lot of holes to fill. We need quality players. It's part of our true rebuild under hopefully a new regime that knows what the hell they're doing. That's it. So hope you guys are okay. Enjoyed the video. Longer than I thought it was going to be. I'll talk to you next time.